Hello everyone, just want to do a quick build overview on my 3.20 Pathfinder Heist Runner. This build is built for heights only. The in-game speed is 392 with face run is 455, and with berserk it goes up to 638. So it does go by has pretty fast. Downside is obviously doesn't do much any damage actually. The only damage skill I have is Frost Wall, but who cares if you can just run fast, do all the heists, and then make money. So again, this is just a build overview, not a build guide. There's lots of build guides out there. I just want to show you how my stuff was made. So I started League pretty late. Actually, I didn't start League pretty late. I just really like 11 characters. I had probably level 20 characters before I settled on this one. Just pretty fun to play with, and you make lots of currency. So the tree is pretty standard. You just have your normal Pathfinder with all the flask stuff. More flasks, and as well as just movement speed. You don't have to grab damage anywhere. You also grab a bunch of oracle clusters, influence, leadership, charisma, and you anoint sovereignty. So we can fit in a bunch of auras in here to make this build extra quick. As well, you grab some life nodes and all the spell suppression nodes you can get. You see in game, I am capped on spell suppress. Where's spell suppress? I'm capped on spell suppress, basically without any spell suppress gear, except this one where I made it by accident. And all my gears, some of them are good, some of them are bad, but at this point, I just basically never dies unless I run into the trap. So it's not really the biggest problem. So I'll include a path of building link in the description, but basically each emoji makes increased mana reservation, so we can fit in more auras and increase aura effect. Have anonymous dash, berserk, and enduring cry. Enduring cry just a region button because as you can see we're not running any life flasks. Devoto's devotion. So obviously the 20% increased movement speed, as well as with the enchantment with Berserk has 40% reduced rage loss per second. So once I press Q for Berserk, the rage loss is minimal. I don't know how to say this word, per parita. With again a lot of movement speed, and you can see this one has a implicit of mana regen rate. I'll go over why mana regen rate is important. So amulet, mana regen rate, ring, mana regen rate, ring, mana regen rate, and you craft reduce mana cost on all of these so that all your skills doesn't cost any mana, because as you can see we have 10 mana left over, which is basically nothing. But you craft these with essences, where it gives you the 87% increased mana regen roll, and you just craft down minus mana cost. That's it. Flasks, I just have a flask belt, so flask charges gain, flask effect duration with some strength. Gloves, I use this gloves to cap my res basically, so fire, lightning, and then I put in some what are called eldritch orbs on them because I have them left over. Boots, 7 league step, could have enchanted, could have corrupted, but again I'm lazy. Flasks, so just all flasks when they use to reach full, so you don't have to press them. Automated flasks, very easy. So gem links, I told this one already. This one is my enhance, increased duration, phase run, and molten shell. So my phase run, my molten shell lasts a long time. And molten shell is mainly used just to get through traps where you don't have to worry about anything. Here you have the stone golem. Your stone golem often dies if you just run through traps, but you just support a minion life, elemental army, and life tap, just so it lasts a little bit longer. In my shield, I have my frost wall and spell cascade. I normally don't use this unless your Heist, whatever it's called, characters agent, the drop C very low. You might need it to just block all some damage. In my helmet, I have enhance, decoy totem. This is a divergent decoy totem, just so the totem regains 34% of life per second, which is very nice. Let's do a quick trade. Why not? And then you do a connect with increase AoE, life tap, decoy totem, and enhance. Enhance it just so they regen more life. And in my chest, just point out the forest. +1 socket gem is necessary for my build, just so I can fit in all the auras, and the auras are haste, enlighten 4 with +1 levels, which is enlighten 5, grace, tempest shield, clarity, and determination. So why is clarity needed? Because we take the timeless rule lethal pride with Akoya, convert this into chainbreaker, so I get rage regen based on how much mana I have. And because I have mana regen from loss of gears as well as clarity, I get loss of rage per second, and that's what allows me to sustain berserk. So the helm enchant is also pretty important just so berserk gets there. This chest I just bought a base with +1 gems. Reduced critical strike is nice, but +1 gems is important just so we can fit in all these auras. If you have to take out auras, I would suggest taking out Tempest Shield first, then Haste. Grace and Determination, Clarity is pretty much necessary. Because Haste is not really doing anything, right? Let's see, Haste is just, what, 17% increased movement speed? That's basically nothing. And other jewels, Tempered Spirit, you can use the upgraded version, but then you have to take all these travel nodes, so I'm just too lazy to get that. I have a jewel here with increased mana reservation efficiency of skills. Again, just so I can fit in a level 21 clarity. Again, not really needed. Pure talent. Why did it take this? Oh yeah, 7% movement speed. So 7% movement speed, is it needed? No, not really. So if you don't want this part, you can just basically cut out all this section. And if you have spell suppression on a few more pieces of your gear, like your gloves, you can take out this entire section, just so you don't have to pass through here. And then you can invest in more of these, the upgraded version of these jewels. You put one here, you take all these decks, more movement speed. Take one here, take up these dex nodes, more what's it called? More movement speed, right? And then you can also include a cluster setup where you can gain flash effect or other movement speed or reservation efficiency. Lots of people play this build uses voices, so it's pretty much a no-brainer. You know, this build is pretty flexible as long as you try to fit in some auras, you fit in berserk somewhere, and then you get enough evasion rating so our coin out of forest is not slowing you down, and then it's fine. I think I need is this 65 or 75k, but it's fine. I get enough for what I need. Chance to evade attacks 55%, phys damage reduction 88%. Chaos res was almost capped, but not quite. And then it was 25, 28 block, very good. And then with Pathfinders, because of all these flash stuff, you really don't have to worry about what's it called? You really don't have to worry about bleeding and elemental elements because they just get removed once you use a flask or when this guy uses a flask. So again, when you first start, if you want to start with this build, so gear pieces, each emoji, Queen of the Forest, per blah blah blah, and then devote those devotion as long as 7 league steps. Don't get all these mana regen gear, these 3 pieces. All you want to do, you just don't grab Chainbreaker. Then you can just move fast. You just don't worry about the rage part. I only use rage when I want to run all the heists anyways. And then once you get the currency, you can start. So I would say you probably need 5 divines at least to start going into the mana regen stuff. Make sure to craft a minus mana cost, because these things cost, we basically don't have any mana. And we don't have any mana regen either, because it's used up by Chainbreaker. So cheap setup, you don't need Chainbreaker. Expensive setup, need Chainbreaker. And then once you want to fit in more auras, you need a +1 Queen of the Forest. just buy a corrupted one or corrupt one yourself. There's a divination card you can turn in that gives you a level 1 Penalty Forest, and you'll just corrupt a bunch of those. Use tainted currency to make them 6-link. Coloring them is also super easy with tainted currency. Then just make sure you use some flasks. So onslaughts, the amethyst, just to cap. Oh, I also have a elemental res on this flask. If you have some trouble capping res, you can use some of these flasks. You can use a res flask. You can also just, use some other quicksilver, and if you don't have enough evasion rating, use a jade flask. I basically don't need these anymore, so I just have them left in here. Heist brooches. So right now I have a 1% chaos to divine orb. This cost me like 120, 130 divines. Is it good? No. It's way too expensive. If you want to go cheap, you want to get a double, I think it's alterations, drop as chaos, and it's either augs or, I think it's alterations and augmentations drop by chaos. So you want 2 of those lines. You want to make them as high as you can. It costs about 100, 200 Th, but then because these two things drop so much in Heist, and they all convert to chaos, chaos is basically dropping like flies. It's much a better experience compared if you just wait for divine orbs to drop, because divine orbs doesn't drop that much. Obviously, a bunch of further gear upgrades is possible for this character if I really want to min-max it. Like all of these can just have life as well as the mana regen rate. Gloves obviously can be better. I can corrupt the implicits. Boots, it doesn't have to have a 7 leagues. It doesn't have to be a 7-league step. It can be a rare pair of boots with the increased 35% increased movement speed, and then increased movement speed if you haven't been hit recently. If you do want a pair of 7-league steps, you can have the movement speed corrupt, and the enchant where you go faster without moving. So again, this is pretty decent gear. I'm not going to craft any further because you can see I'm actually gaining XP despite not killing any mobs. And the only time I die is just I run into traps. So because that's, I'm dumb. How much currency do you make? That's a pretty important question. So I play this build maybe... Oh, that's actually longer than I thought. Probably most time it's just AFK because I forgot to turn it off when I went to sleep one night. And so I played one Sunday, and then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday after work. It's 41 divines here, 9 divines here, a bunch more stuff to sell. Various divines, and this one is the most expensive one. It's 130 divines. So 200 divines, pretty casual playstyle. I like to listen to audiobooks when I play this. You can probably put up some Netflix. It's pretty chill. Next up, I want to go over some of the rogue gears I used. So again, lots of videos saying, what kind of gear is important. I'm just gonna go over the most important part. So Gianna, make sure you have a +1 all drops so you can run more of these. So your reveals are cheaper. Deception, Perception, and Counter Somatology. And then Karst, Nanette, Tibbs, and Vendari is pretty important. You want +1 drops on Vendari. Why? Because Vendari have a chance to duplicate contents. Isla, you use her sometimes. Huck, well, no one cares about Huck, so... And just get either, so you want to get drop speed, or you can get increased time before lockdown. Doesn't really matter. Personal preference, really. I'll just do a sample deception run. So you try to run deception white because it doesn't really include anything. So these are all deception contracts I got. Again, you can bulk buy them on TFT Discord, the Forbidden Trove. And you can also run, what are these called? Blueprints. So these are my replicas or experiment items. These are not as good. Thieves trinkets or currencies, these are really cheap. Run them if you are just starting out or something. But the best money I found is from unusual gems. These are all unusual gems. 3 wings are about 35C, 4 wings about 45. So lots of money just sitting here. Okay, so I'll just run one, and then I'll show you how I like to roll my contracts. So for blueprints, for contracts, you want to run them white. I personally do you pick Gianna just because she gets the reveal cost basically, or the free reveals. Again, you don't have to do it. I just do it because here, 45% discount on reveals. That's a pretty big bonus. Again, you don't have to do it. Do it just because I like brain dead gameplay. So go here. I usually don't use Berserk until going out of the thing. So if you see a divination box here, always open divination because stacked decks are so much money. It's like free money basically. I personally opens all these crates. I just want to scan to make sure they don't have another divination. They don't good. Because I do want to drop more chaos, and dropping more chaos means more divines because of my amulet. So I feel like each click is worth approximately 1 chaos, just depending on what you click. So if you just want to get the reveals and then go away, that's fine. But I like to click on all these. Then once you're heading back, activate Berserk, run alt. And then Deception is nice because all the doors are open on the way back. You go to the harbor, you load up another one, you sell your stuff, you put your stuff in the stash, etc. So that one I probably made like what? 3 times 4, 12C plus 5C of the road markers, probably 3C. So 15C. Each of the contract costs 9C, so I made 6C in 1 minute-ish. Let's put all these here. Contracts. So I personally run contracts white just because rolling them is too much work. You have see other build creators, they roll them just so they have more time to reveal stuff. Oh, I forgot to reveal this first. So come to Wakako here. Wahako, too much cyberpunk. So you wanna go switch to Gianna for the reveals. Reveal all of them because they're really good money, especially for gems. And then you switch Wahako. And for these, you want to prioritize divination is the best money, then the currency one. All the others I won't bother because of how much it costs. So right now, because I don't roll them, I plan for 2 rooms. I can only open 2 rooms, maximum 3 if there is cards to lockpick. So I just open, let's say, the currency room here. I see another currency room, so I open these 2 currency rooms here. And I usually don't even do currency, but because I have this Heist amulet, I feel like I have to open the currency room so they drop more chaos, and in turn I have more chance at the divine. If you don't have this amulet, just go with us the divination cards, so it gets stacked decks. Again, I run them white, you don't have to. If I'm running fully revealed ones, then I won't run them white. So for these characters, you typically want to pick 3 different guys. Doesn't matter who you pick. The net is nice because of the reduced raising alarm level. And you want to try to include Vendari in your loadouts. This time, unlucky, Vendari is not available, but usually Vendari is available. So you want to pick some. You have too many rogues, it costs a tiny little bit more, which is pretty much not the biggest problem. So we see you have 5 rogues, cost 2084 markers. Each marker is around, or 1 chaos is on 200 marker, so this is 10C just to go. Alright, I'm fine with that. So I'll just run, actually maybe I'll run 2 wings just so it looks, yeah, what this looks like. I'll put this back. So I don't roll it. If you are running full revealed or if your blue twin is very juicy, then like you have lots of divination, you have lots of chaos, then you can run it. I don't, just so I have less of a chance to die on the way back because the gems are where the money is. Right, so this is a 4-wing. So this one, you have 1 currency room. We don't have cards, so we can't unlock that many chests. Like these essences are not worth anything, I still pick them up because why not? So just pick up all these currency rooms. I take a scan ahead, there's another currency room. So I want to get there, but I want to make sure I have enough alert levels so I don't... Now here's what I meant by the traps. If I run through this, I will die without Molten Shell, but I'll be fine with Molten Shell. I just unlocked it so I don't forget it on the way back. See, now my Molten Shell has ended. Then it just recharges. We'll take all of these, run to the next one. We can maybe do 1 more chest. That's cutting it pretty close. I want to have some time looking at my gems. So divergent multiple traps. You will know what gems are good after you play for a while. But if you don't, just go on your PoE Ninja. You click. One tab is anonymous, one is divergent, one is phantasmal. You can just do some really quick press checks if you have a second monitor or just Alt tab. Seismic trap. This might be worth something, but I don't think so. Nope, 8C, pretty bad. Siege Ballista. Oh, another trick, shift this, so we can type in Siege Ballista. This is anonymous. Too many items found. Oh, it's 15C. Yeah, so you can use shift space if you have awakened PoE trait. Stormbrand, no one uses that. Vortex. Again, you can try Vortex, anonymous, 10C. So these are all pretty bad. You can take the Siege Ballista one, but you know, I'm just gonna use the time to open up more chests. Alright, what drop here? Oh, there's some essences. Should I come back? Because you know, more chests you open, like I said, each click is around 1 chaos, so it's like there, like 1 chaos. Sometimes you don't get anything, sometimes you get a lot. Just depending on your luck, right? And if you're running tips, you can also unlock mechanical blueprints after the lockdown ends. I'll just do another one. We'll see if we get lucky or not. This one, let's see. We don't have anything good, as in, yeah, make sure to use a hotkeys when you're doing all these Heist commands. So either the default bind is V. I have it set to mouse button 4, just so it's easier to click. There's nothing, like all of these are not worth opening, so I'll just open up all the small boxes on the way there, just so I hoping I get some chaos drops, and then those chaos will get turned into divines, and then I am a happy camper because divine drops they're not exciting anymore, but they're still nice. So like even though I have a large bar left, I just too late to open it up. Ancestral Call, increase area effects. Who cares? Intimidating Cry, nah. Destruct, no one use link skills. Combustion, nope. Shock Nova, yeah, this is pretty bad. I just run out. See if there's one that's worth opening. Now let's open this one just because so we don't feel like we wasted the map. But usually the profit is pretty good. Okay, we get 4 times 8. 32 chromes. That's like what? 4C. Maybe let's do one more, hoping we break our bad luck for not taking any gems. This one we have one chaos here, so that's really nice. But otherwise you don't really have anything, so I'll just open up some of these small boxes, hoping for some good stuff. Again, make sure you allocate enough time to go into the gem room, or you might misclick. One time I misclicked, I picked up the wrong casual damage taken, or I click on the wrong thing. I didn't click on the casual damage taken, and that's a -7 divine drop, so it really sucks. Explosive arrow, no one cares. Scourge arrow, poison on hit, no one cares. Smite. This is worth something because I think people use the other version. People use one of the orbs. It's only 10C. Summon lightning golem. Let's see, what's Alama's smite? Oh, phantasmal smite. Yeah, phantasmal smite is worth a lot, but it's not worth it. Buff effect. This is decent. And what's the last one? Poisonous connection, crit chance, no one cares. So some lightning golems, this one is worth around 60, 70C. So alright. So traps, you can just put on molten shell and run through them. Doesn't really matter. If your rogues are getting hit, put down decoy totems. If decoys totems doesn't work or your jobs is really slow, put down frost wall. See my golem is dying, I just resummon him again while waiting for the thing to finish. Run out. Perfect. You know what? This video's been going on long enough. No one wants to hear me talk that much. So put everything in the stash. I'll list this up. And that's pretty much it. So you look at gems. So usually sometimes you get gems, sometimes you get these primary grading lens, secondary grading lens. These are actually pretty exciting to use, but you have to know which thing to use it on, so I have to do our own research. Sometimes you get nice jewels, sometimes you don't. Like this time, you only get something that is worth 70, 60, so I'll list it for 60, I think. 65. The cheaper you list them, the faster it'll sell. But it's your issue. Just list them or not. Pretty much up to you. Again, pretty exciting build. I can still upgrade this further, except too much work. Tree can be upgraded further. Voices, cluster jewels, cut up a bunch of section. Again, too much work. I'm lazy. Probably play this build for another week, make some currency, then end the league. Okay, that's it. Have a nice day.